Okay, so let's start.
Hmm.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to our global audience, and welcome back. I'm your host, Alish Nan, the Director of Youth Affairs at Global Engineering Network for Innovation and Intelligence. From AI to space to climate change, this is where innovation meets inspiration. This is Janai. Welcome to Janai. Let's make a quick guess. Who is our today's guest? Let me tell you. Our today's guest is Mr. Christian Levesque. Mr. Levesque is a distinguished leader in governance, corporate, social responsibility, and sustainable development, whose multifaceted career spans the business sectors, public services, and international engagement. He was elected president of the Quebec City of Chamber of Commerce in 2006 and later served as a member of the National Assembly for Levis in 2007. He was the official opposition spokesperson for Treasury, public finances, and economic development. Along his political career, Mr. Levesque has demonstrated remarkable entrepreneurial vision. He co-led his family businesses, founded in 1963, and went on to establish several ventures, including Blue Island. Today, Mr. Levesque serves as the president of Global Ethics, a global network promoting good governance, ethics, and sustainability across 16 countries. Really honored to host you, sir. Welcome to Genai.
It's a pleasure and great to have a chance to speak with all of your viewers today.
Okay. So, as uh, as we know that you are the president of Global Ethics and you are working for governance, ethics, and sustainability across 16 countries. So I want to ask that how do you personally define trust in the context of global relationships, especially among individuals and organizations who have never met in person?
The first currency in the world is trust. So if you're trying to print money and you're telling somebody take that money for what your goods you're gonna give to me, if he doesn't trust that money, he's not going to get you anything. So trust is all about the perception of people of you, your organization, and where you're from, and your past, and everything. And one thing that is important, it's that word perception, because you truly, in reality, you could be having a lot of money, you could be successful, but if people do not trust you, then you cannot do much about it. So you have to understand how trust works and how to bring that trust to other people. And just understand that every civilization, every place in the world have their own code. So you have to also understand how people look and perceive you. So you can make success within your personal business, personally, or in your business, or whatever you will make in your life.
That's great. Okay. Uh, for trust, there are some core elements. So, in your view, what are the core elements of trust that transcend borders, cultures, and systems?
Can you repeat the question? Just a few question.
I was asking, in your view, what are the core elements of trust that transcend cultures, borders, and systems?
The main thing that we've built. I've been president of some certification called ISO standards. So what brings trust? It's not only you that is saying something, but your peers throughout your organization or around you are saying the same thing. So what we do when we build an ISO system is we bring many people from many countries with many point of view, and then everybody of us we are sharing our experience, and then we build certification. When you get to that point, you can trust the process because it's not only one person that is saying something, and it's people from everywhere in the world that are gathering together to build this. So that's why they build ISO standards, I think around 1946, because they said if everybody gets to know each other, work together, then there will be even trust within countries. So maybe there will be less war because they will know that people, their point of view will be shared through ISO standards. And then you can build on that and have standards that could be recognized everywhere in the world. So one thing about trust, it's not thinking that you by yourself that you've got the idea. It's to make sure that people around you gets to understand the same thing as you and that you can share it with the most people possible so they understand your point of view. So, but internationally, when you talk about trust, certification is the main things that somebody from India, Pakistan, and United States, they will talk the same way. They will say the same things because they will be following the same certification, the same path to obtain their goal.
Perfect. Okay, sir. Do you think that the meaning of trust varies through different domains? Like you have worked across politics, governance, business. So how does the
Well,
meaning of trust changes during these domains?
when you're in politics, there's the trust comes from the family where you've been raised, the people you've been around. So they will talk about you in a ways that gives trust. With your family, it's nearly the same. So you gain the trust with the people that are around you, saying, "Oh, this guy," you have to be validated for gaining the trust. And in business, it's the same thing. You need to be validated to show that you are doing the right thing. So trust in business would come from certification, saying, yes, we've been into the company and we know that they're doing the right things every time. So now if you want to work with Airbus, that is the big airplane company. So if you want to work with them, then you have to be EcoVadis. So they will ask you to have that minimum within your organization so they can start to trust you to do business with them. So it's all about the way you will feel trust is. But sometimes trust in the United States, when you go to China, it's not the same trust. So the way that we trust people in America is not the way we trust people in China. But if you are talking about business, the only way we can measure for now, it's about all the certification that you can gain. That shows us that if you're ISO 9001, that means you have the process of quality within your organization that is international level. Or if you're ISO 37001, that means that you are processing corruption within your organization to prevent it. Or if you're ISO 37000, it's on governance, that you have the right governance within your organization that can prove that you're doing the right things for your organization. And then on CSR, corporate social responsibility, then there is the ESG, environmental social governance 1000, that will show the world that you are doing the right things for those topics. So it's about recognition, and this comes from a part, something outside of yourself that recognize your work. And if you get that, even in your personal life, other people talking good about you, the journals are talking good about you, everybody, then it brings you to a level of trust within population. And for organization, it's the same thing, but it has to come from coming from some certification ever. If you're in science, then you need to have your project looked by peers. So the peers will look at your projects, many of them, and saying, okay, what you've done, the result you've done is the right one because we have tried that by ourselves and now it gives the same results. So then you gain the trust. But you have to understand the codes of the country you're in. You have to understand how they will perceive you, because as I said before, reality and perception are two things. So, and perception become really reality if you don't do anything about it, because you might be looked as not relevant or not a good person just because you didn't know the code. So you have to adjust to make sure that the perception of you became reality, the reality you want to show or present.
Okay, sir. So, many people sees reality in different ways. So, how would you suggest to to build a better relationship in every way? So, how do you suggest that? How can we trust others, and how can we build a better relationship?
It's all about one thing: being yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Show the reality. If I see you today and I see you in 1 week or one year, I always see the same benevolent person, caring person that is always doing good things around them and everything. Be yourself. Even if you're not that good or true, but be yourself also. You know what? Because people, they tend to see if somebody is playing a role. So don't, be yourself in every part of the times. And if you talk to somebody and you tell something, but if it didn't work, tell them it didn't work. If it worked, tell them it worked. So the trust will build between you and those people. But always be true to yourself. So what you're doing is the reality you're communicating. And in your communication, don't try to be somebody else. So it will make a really big difference in the way people will trust you. You see, I've seen some even podcasts. The person is starting his presentation like, "Hello, everybody. My name is," and he's trying to do the deep voice like if he's somebody from. No, be yourself. Because as soon as you see this, you even lose the trust right away because you understand that this person is playing a role. So if you keep being yourself, you'll see a lot of trust and doors opening for you in the future.
Okay, sir. There are some families that can't build trust on that level, or they don't have such understandings, or some children who can't build trust with their parents. So, what do you suggest them?
As I said, trust is all about the being aligned with yourself. Okay? And knowing when to ask for help, knowing when to be able to go further and starting believing in you. So if people see that you go on and you try project, even if you don't realize them, and if you failed, you just are the person that even if you fail, you stand up again, and then you try again. I've never seen a video game in my life where the first time I tried a video game, I am the best one in the world. I've never seen that. You always have to try again until you became one. So if people in you, they see somebody that, oh, he fails, but he's standing up and he's going again and he's trying and he's bringing people with him and telling them the truth and never trying to try to say something that is not real to the people, then you will build up trust. But if you try to build on something that is not real and trying to make people come to you, but you want to be shady in the way you do things, then you will lose that trust quickly. So maybe you'll have a little trust in your or people around you, but as soon as you go into chamber of commerce, as soon as you go outside, they will see that you're not trustworthy. So as I said, be yourself, ask for help when you need, and put the ego. I don't know if you understand the word ego, but put that on the side. Don't be humble in everything you do, and you will see it will bring you the best result.
Okay. Uh, Looking at your profile, we have got through that you have played a leading role in ISO 37001 anti-corruption and ISO 37000 governance. So, how do these international stand help building trust, and how do you explain these laws?
When you're building a standard, you have to understand the process of the thing you're building. So when you are talking, let's say about anti-corruption, first you have to understand how corruption works within organization, and then what we do with those process, we build a process to understand the corruption, and then we have to mitigate that that corruption. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to share with you. When you have like, let's say I'm a big bank, okay? The first thing I will do is do a risk assessment. What is a risk assessment? Is I'm going to tell every position, every people working in my bank, where are the risks of corruption and how that risk can arise. And once you've done that, then you're going to look at every risk and then you're going to put a process so that risk cannot happen. I'm going to give an example, digitalization. If I digitalize this part, nobody's going to be able to do corruption on the person in front of you. It's when you are in computer, it's yes or no. It's if you bring in the information, then the computer will give you the answer. But if it's a person, you can always give him money, so he will say yes for you. And in that way, that would be corruption. So you have to build the process within this organization. I started with risk assessment. Once you've done the risk assessment, you will put in politics within the organization. Once you've put politics, you will put, let's say, a line, a whistleblower line. So if there's anybody who can reach and know about that, you will do audit of your process, and then you will do amelioration, a continuous amelioration of your everything you're doing with an organization. Because every year you do audits, you look at what's working and not working, and then you do amelioration. When you do that, year after year, the system is going to be stronger, 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 stronger. But it's not going to work the first year or the second year the way it should be. But after third year, fourth year, 6 years, you'll see the system is getting better and better, and then you change the society. But you have to start, and you have to understand that you will not be perfect at the beginning. But with the time, your company is going to get even better, and then the trust is built because they see that you are doing the right process, that you are really meaning to cut the possibilities of corruption, and in the end, it'll bring trust to everybody, saying, okay, now you're a bank that can go on international, because we see that the money that is in your bank is not going to go to fraud or to corruption and even AML, anti-money laundering. So you will build the trust. So the other banks around the world are going to have trust in you, and then they will do business with you. So I'm talking about business in bank, but there's all of the others, let's say mining industry and everything. All of them, they have to build that trust around the world.
Okay, so you have talked about the risk assessment to overcome the
Yes.
corruption. So, can you define what kind of risk we have to face to overcome the corruption, and how can we overcome corruption?
The risk of corruption is everywhere where two people can, by having a conversation, try to get something that they shouldn't be supposed to get. Okay, let's say I'm working with the government. There's a line of people everywhere, and I'd like to be the first one because I don't want to wait. I have enough, so I give a bit of money to the person, and then I became the first one. And then after, when I want to get to obtain, I don't know what's the right word in French. We say permit for construction, and then I give money to that person, so he gave me the permit, even if I'm not following the laws. Or then after I have that construction that's been made, but then I give money to other people, so they don't have the right to construction higher than my building. So I will give money to others to get something that I should not be getting. So everywhere in your life there could be corruption, and the only way we can get to lower that, first, it's to get to understand that it's real, that within your city. Most of the people, they know it is real, but they don't talk about it. They don't want to hear or have a discussion about it. So start by having that discussion. Once you have that discussion, there are tools. As I said, certification, the tools with ISO 37001, that if you apply them, you will see lowering, even for government. If you are in charge of a political party or everything, know that there are some ways you can prevent corruption within the society, within the politics, within organization, everywhere. But you have to follow the rules. And there's many people who don't want to follow the rules. So you have to find a way. So with digitalization, that people they don't interact with people. They interact with computers. If they interact with computers, then it lowers the risk of corruption. And if they're interacting with people, so those people have to have training. So you have to train your people in knowing that corruption is not something that you want to keep into your organization. Training is the only way for the people to understand. And then after audit, that's those are the things that you have to do for countries or for your company. Even if you're starting a little company, be be an ambassador of that. Just say that within the government, I will not pay those fines that you're asking you as a person because you want to help my company. No. If I'm doing business and that there's a rules that I have to pay for that, what you're asking, no problem. But if you're asking me to pay for you to make you go around the system to win, at one point of time, people will get to know that and they will lose all the trust in you. So you have to face those values and keep growing without accepting to do bribes.
Okay, sir, perfect. Uh, Talking about transparency, do you think transparency is important? And if it's important, so how could transparency plays role not only in institution, but also in leadership behavior across the borders? How it helps to build trust?
Hmm. Transparency shows that what you're saying is true. So if you play the book of transparency, people gain much more trust because they said he's doing what he's talking about. And everywhere you work transparency, you gain. But there's the things though, because if you're building something that is unique, when you're talking about transparency, they say people will know what you're doing and then they will try to copy you and everything. But you see, I've seen Elon Musk doing a lot of transparency into his building of the car. He's even giving out the plans of how he's doing things and everything, and he shares. But he became the best, the more richest person in the world by doing transparent things. So being transparent, people are a bit afraid because they always think they have the most genius things in their hands and nobody should know about it. But you know what? Be humble about everything because everybody has an idea. Now with AI, we can know much everything. Be the one that is humble and transparent and saying, be transparent to your bank, be transparent to the people around you, tell them everything that is going well, everything that needs to be fixed. And when you need help, ask for that and be transparent about that. You will gain so much more than just doing things in your corner. Everybody has a dream in life. Everybody says, oh, one day I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. But at the end, they tell only their friends, but they don't do anything about it. Just bring people with you. Share the dream with them, bring them into your dream, and you will see that you will gain that success. But if you keep it to just your family and your just friends around you, you might not make it. You have to put it out there. So being transparent is one of the best things in the world for you to achieve success and trust.
Yes. Okay. So, as you plays role as a leadership also, so what do you think? What role leadership integrity plays in sustaining long-term international cooperation?
You said what integrity? You said
I
just
said
just a,
role what role leadership integrity plays in sustaining long-term international cooperation.
okay. Um, integrity will will bring you to a level of trust that few can reach. Okay, because people will want to be investing in your company. People will want to be with you, knowing that you will do the right thing at the right place. Today, in this world where AI is gaining a lot of attention, we don't really know what's real or not. And but we feel when integrity is there, we know that it is something that we can trust and we can follow. If you show integrity, if you've been bringing in the certification that is needed into your industry, if we know that when you say you're going to deliver something, you deliver it, or if you're not going to deliver, you're going to tell us why and at what time we're going to receive it, and that you give, so you build the trust. It's going to bring you a lot of people that want to work with you, okay, because there's so many others that are not into integrity, and people are searching for the right people. That's why we built global ethics, because we said if we build this organization and people come into global ethics and they want to work with Canada or Africa or Asia and everything, if they get into the global ethics, they know that every part of the people they're going to work with is within the trust factor. So they're all looking forward integrity. They're all looking for the best environmental, social responsibility. They're all into the same, I would say, wavelength of trust that we want to put into project. And that's what we are building now. We're building with global ethics human to human peers. So we want them to build that trust together that we're losing through AI, that we're losing through a lot of other things. So as others are going more on digitalized with global ethics, we're using AI, but we're bringing people together and trusting them and understanding that if they have the trust of our peers in Canada, you can have their trust in Africa. And if they're doing business with Africa, where they're going to be doing business, they'll know there is no corruption within the process we're going to do, and that you can trust the people you'll be working with. But we will build that trust with certification. We build that trust with the right people that can make things happen with integrity. And I think that's part of the future where it's kind of harder now to get to know what is real or not with AI.
Yes, AI has changed the world a lot.
Yes.
So, moving forward, the young peoples who are finding their career in politics, in entrepreneurship. So, what advice do you give them?
Dream big, okay? Dream big, but be humble. So have big goals, but be humble with the people that will be on your road. And always understand that you have to build that trust, you have to build that integrity, and that you have to bring in people with you that will help you do that. Because when you talk about integrity, all of these things, people are often saying that it's something that costs money but doesn't bring money in. I would say the opposite. If you build the trust, if you make sure that what you're doing is on the right path, people are going to give you bigger opportunity that you would ever think. But if you keep thinking that those things are not important, you will at one point face a wall. Because if you want to grow to a certain level, integrity will be the only things that is important. Even for opening, just to open a business account. You want to open a business account with your bank, and if the bank doesn't trust you, you're not going to be able to do any business. Just starting there, it's a big issue. Okay, and then you want to have credits because you have a big opportunity somewhere. They will. It's all going to be about the trust of you paying back that sum after that, or even you want to have investors in your organization. Now, if you don't think about environmental, social, and governance (ESG), now most of the fund will not even think of lending you money right now. So trust is a big factor of your development. You can be doing business within your city. Okay, let's say in your city, but even there, if people don't trust you because you say you're going to build a building and then the building is not ready when you said it will be, but you didn't tell anybody, and then if you don't build the trust, you're not going to be doing business a long time. Most of the business don't live more than 2, 3 years because they don't count in the factor, the trust factor. So if you're thinking about having a company, my father built a company in 1963 that is still that closed a few years ago because he sold the company to another organization. But everything that made him success was about the trust that the community, the people around had in that, and the trust of the employee who stayed in the company for, let's say, 30, 40, 50 years because they loved working for that company and everything. So I've learned soon in my life that trust is a big factor in building your company. And I understand soon that if trust is not there, you will not be there for long.
Obviously, that's true. So, moving forward, we are close to wrap up. So, lastly, I would ask in how could you summarize your philosophy of trust and success in word or one sentence?
Success comes with trust. So see, it's intricate. If you don't have the trust, success will not be there. So you have to build it. Start at the beginning. You're 18 years old. You say something, do what you say, and share your struggle. Learn to open yourself, be transparent, and you'll see that by the end, even if your first project didn't work or even your second project didn't work, but as long as you keep the trust of people and they understand your struggle and everything, they will be there for the third one or the fourth one. That will be a success. And learn that failing is just a process of learning, but trust can, if it's broken, it can keep you on the failing part all of your life. So build that trust. It's really important.
Okay. So, let's play a game, this and that. Then we will wrap up.
Oh,
Okay. So, the name of the game is Global Quick Fire. Question one: ethics or efficiency?
um, I would say both, but ethics.
Okay. Global corporation or local empowerment?
Start with local empowerment and then global cooperation.
Speaking or listening?
The what?
Speaking or listening?
Listening.
Experience or innovation?
Innovation that builds experience.
Diplomacy or directness?
Diplomacy, always, always, always.
Coffee, tea, or a quiet walk? Coffee,
Explain
tea,
again. Our
coffee, tea,
comfort. Yeah.
uh, makes you smile instantly.
Uh, Smile. What makes me smile right now? When I see people true to themselves. When I see people doing things they love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who has been your greatest inspiration of life?
The first one was John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
And because he set the United States to the moon. He had big project for the country, but also he was really human. He was somebody that you knew he cares about people. And for me, it was somebody that could look up to the skies and have big project, but stay human within the way he was doing things. And that's what was my first person that I was like 10 or 12 years old. Yeah, he was dead, but I had to read about him, and that's it.
Okay, next. Long nap or long drive?
Lone quoi? Nap
Long nap
or
or long drive?
oh, uh, long drive.
Okay. Songs or book reading?
First one was what?
Songs or book reading?
Oh, that's a tough one for me because I really love songs and I really love to read. So uh, both of them bring me joy. So I would be 50-50. Let's say reading first, but song is quite close.
So then, what's your favorite song? Name of your favorite song?
Happy?
Oh,
That's the one. Every time I hear that song, is I love this song, but there's many others that have been it's from Joe Dassin that are French and things, but Happy is one I love.
okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time. Thank you so much for coming on board with Jen. I really do love to host your game.
And first thing, I'd like to thank you for doing that and for the youth generation. And it's really important that you get to see a point of view from everywhere in the world. And I'm glad to be part of it. I'm really glad for it. And maybe we can get to see each other's one day on the international level and wherever you'll be growing and with your friend part of this.
Hope so.
Okay. So nice seeing you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.